Hey everyone, it's Sarah Fleming from Prepare to Dye Paper Crafts. We're going to make the tag that's on this box. We're not actually going to make the box. I got the box design from Sam Donald, who's Poodles Paper Craft on YouTube. This is her 4-inch cube box. So if you would like to make the box before I film a tutorial on it, go check out and watch her channel. This is her 4-inch cube box, and I made it with the frosted floral paper and Berry Burst cardstock. Okay, so we're just going to make the tag right now. And I have a strip of Night of Navy paper. I'd like to cut my tags a little bit long so that I can keep decorating until I'm done, and then I cut them down to size after that. And I have the scallop tag topper punch. This is 1 and about 15/16 wide. It's kind of just, I usually plan to cut 2 inches, and then I cut it a little bit less than that, because if you cut it the full 2 inches, it doesn't quite fit. So about 1 and 15/16. So I've just punched that there, and now we're going to do some stamping. And I'm not going to cut on screen. We're going to magically cut everything through the magic of editing. But I will show you how I stamped it all. And I'm using the First Frost stamps and the Frosted Bouquet dies. Love, love, love. We're going to stamp. First, we have this little flower that we're going to stamp in Night of Navy twice. And we're not going to re-ink between stamping. We're going to stamp it there and then stamp the second generation. So you'll have one that's kind of darker and one that's lighter. And I've already got one cut out, so we'll use that one. And then I have this one. This is Mint Macaron, and we're going to stamp in Mint Macaron. I love the shading on this stamp because it comes in dark and light. So it gives you all kinds of dimension of color in there with you only having to stamp once. Really pretty. So I've got one of those cut too, so I'm not going to cut. And then, but there is a die that cuts it out. Okay, so I just line this up with the cardstock on the block up. We're good. I'm going to leave that since I've already got one done. And then the wishing you all the best, I lined up all the best with the top of the block. And then I'm going to stamp it, but I'm going to stamp it, I'm lining it up with the congratulations, but I'm stamping it kind of higher than it looks like I should, because if I stamp it lower, then it's not high enough. So that's how they look together. You can also do that with a Stamparatus to get perfect placement. And then I use the large frame. There's a large frame and a smaller frame. And then you can even put them together and end up with a small frame and then a little thin frame to go around it. So I've got those all cut out. So now we just need to assemble our tag. It's magic. I've already done it. And that's 2. Okay. So I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to put the vellum on. Actually, I'm going to put these on first. So I have the darker one I'm going to put here, and I'm actually going to put it on with glue dots, because for me, when you're making like a major layered tag, it's actually easier to attach most of the things, at least, to the back of the sentiment or the frame or whatever. It's easier to attach it that way than to glue it all down to the main tag part. And then, well, I did it kind of backwards on that. So for me, it's easier to do it that way, because then I don't have to like keep bringing this over 100 times to see if I like how I'm placing something. So there's that. So those are stuck there. And then I'm going to do the same with a glue dot, or with the vellum. So I cut, these leaves are also in the in that framelit set. So I'm going to use the vellum, and I'm going to kind of put that like right with the others. And then let's get a glue dot on the front of that. And then this one kind of goes a little more off to the side. So that's what that looks like. And then I cut these 3 branches out using this die, which is my favorite die in the whole holiday catalog, the little branch die. And I cut that out of the Tranquil Tide paper that's in the Joyous Noel Glimmer paper. You get like 24 6x6 sheets of that. So I'm just going to start glue dotting these to the back as well. You get 24 6x6 sheets. You get 8 Tranquil Tide, 8 copper, which is my favorite, and you get 8 Mary Merlot, which actually passes pretty well for cherry cobbler too, because it's got kind of both colors. I think that's on the front. It's kind of got both colors in it, so I'm just sticking these how they kind of look good. And I actually guess I only used 2 on the first tag. I thought I used 3. We'll see if there's anywhere that I want this other one. If not, we'll just leave it off. Oh, I kind of like it there. So we'll stick a glue dot on that one. That's pretty. Okay, and then we're just gonna, oh yeah, we gotta put this on. And this, if I put it where I want it, it hangs off the side, so I'm just gonna tear off a little piece of it. And then I'll glue that actually to the base, the little tag base. I'm only gluing, you know, one end of it. I'm not gonna try to, I'm looking at my example so I can see how far over I want it. When you have glue on your fingers and you try to get it off with a dry baby wipe, you just make a huge mess. And that's exactly what I just did. Okay, so now we're just going to dimensional this to the tag. There we go. And now we're just going to stick that right there. And so we don't have any dimensional hanging over the back. And then I come in after my tag's all done, then I come in and kind of decide where I want it. I want the glimmer hanging off a little, so I'm going to pull that back and then cut the tag and then fold that back down. Glimmer doesn't show wrinkles, so it's easy to do that with glimmer paper. So there's our tag, and then you would just tie it to your ribbon with a piece of baker's twine, or you could even thread it onto your main ribbon. So there's our tag.